I do believe that at UFC 309, you'll see the most complete version of myself that you've ever seen.
Stipe Miocic, why is he the right opponent at this point for your heavyweight title defense?
He just is. You know, he just is. He is the greatest heavyweight fighter in UFC history. Him and I are both getting up there in age, and I feel like the world's wanted to see us compete for a very long time. And to a lot of the true UFC fans, a lot of the hardcore fans who've been here for a while, they realize how special of an athlete both him and I are. We both come in tremendous shape every time. We both have the cardio that can go the distance. We both have strong teams around us. We both have very strong fight IQs. He's a knockout artist. You know, I'm more of a technician, you know, with a more complete game. But Stipe knows how to win. I mean, if you've watched him compete against Francis Ngannou or Daniel Cormier, he is as high level of a competitor that's out there in our sport, in our sport's history. And I know that this is just going to be a massive fight. I'm very grateful that it's him as my next opponent.
So when you had the injury, there was the chance that you could have walked away from this opponent and taken on a fight. Tom Aspinall, a lot of hype around Tom Aspinall in terms of a potential opponent for you. Why did you stick with Stipe?
I stuck with Stipe because that's what I signed up to do initially. And I do feel like I move to the beat of my own drum, and I try to stick to my plans. Stipe has been in my sights for a very long time now. He has all the accolades, and he's just the perfect opponent. I also just got off an injury, you know, and so to fight Stipe first, I feel like stylistically it makes more sense. I have a lot of rebuilding to do, a lot of as far as rebuilding muscle, and a lot of questions, you know, coming off a major injury. I had 2 surgeries, and I just think Stipe is the better opponent for where I am right now in my recovery and just as an athlete. I feel like Stipe has a great style. Like I said, his endurance is really, really strong. His knockout power is really strong. He has a Division I level of wrestling. He was a Golden Gloves boxing champion. He has a tremendous amount of experience. But I believe that I'm the more versatile fighter, slightly younger. Physical strength, I don't know how we're gonna match up. Knockout power, I would give him an advantage. Fight IQ, I would give myself the advantage. Endurance, I would give myself the advantage. Grappling ability, I would give myself the advantage. I believe that mental toughness and just physical, like just toughness, I give myself the advantage. I believe that everything Stipe does well, I'm slightly better, and I believe that's going to lead to a victory.
So you've called him the greatest heavyweight of all time. If you beat him, does that make you the greatest heavyweight of all time?
No, unfortunately not. That's just not the way it works. You know, I've had a wonderful career, and I have pride in the fact that people consider me one of the best fighters of all time. But as far as best heavyweight of all time, I would have to give that to the guys who have put their time in. Stipe is unquestionably the #1 heavyweight in UFC's history. Then you got guys like, you know, Randy Couture, you know, Daniel Cormier did some great work. Those are the guys that I think should be mentioned as the best heavyweights of all time.
Tom Aspinall is going to be there. He said he would be ready as a backup in case either one of you got injured this time. He's clearly got his sights set on a fight with you. What are your thoughts on it?
Everyone wants to fight me. That's just what it is.
You got the belt.
What does Connor calls it, red panty night, right? Tom's head is in the right place. He should want to fight the top guys in the world. I believe that he has time to fight the top guys in the world. As far as fighting me right now, I'm fighting Stipe.
Right.
And you don't make it this far in a UFC career looking past your opponents. I'm aware of Tom and the work that he's put in, or lack thereof. And I think he could have a tremendous future in the UFC, but when you've been around this long, you realize that people are here today and gone tomorrow. And maybe eventually, if he can earn some things in the UFC, because I think right now the only champion he's ever fought against or beat was Andrei Arlovski, who was way past his prime.
Yeah.
He won an interim championship against Sergey, and Sergey just got murdered his last fight. So it's like you're beating guys who aren't even champions, and you consider yourself a champion. He's not a champion, and if I were to maybe entertain fighting again, I would say the person that's most deserving, it would be Alex Pereira. You know, Alex has beat many champions. He's knocking out everybody left and right. He has the opportunity to become a 3-division champion by facing me. He's more of a legend and a star in America right now than Aspinall. And I feel like those are the type of fights that I'm looking for at this point in my career. Fighting legends, fighting real stars. Guys like Francis Ngannou, guys like Alex Pereira, guys like Stipe Miocic. I feel like that's the lane that I'm in, and I stay true to that. You know, Aspinall to me is no difference than an Owen St. Prude or Dominic Reyes or Anthony Smith, being like just another up and comer that's exciting right now. And I'm not into gambling my legacy for what's exciting. I want legends on my resume.
One more on Aspinall. He said you stuck with the fight with Stipe after the injury because you wanted the easier fight. Does that register with you at all, or is it?
No,
is it
no.
just talk?
Is Stipe easier? That can't necessarily be said, especially by him. You know, he's fought a bunch of up-and-comers, and he's looked good against up-and-comers. But you can't call Stipe Miocic an easier fight, despite the age. I mean, he's a smart man. So just because Stipe's in his 40s doesn't mean he's any less of a champion, of a warrior, than he's always been. You look at him fighting Francis Ngannou and getting knocked out. That happens to 80% of the people who step in there with Francis. You get knocked out.
Right.
So me and my team, we're a smart team, and we would be silly to underestimate Stipe Miocic, and we'd be silly to even consider Stipe Miocic the easier fight. Stipe's beat Francis, he's beat DC, he's been in there with some real killers.
Yeah.
And he's always succeeded. Junior Dos Santos, you name him, he has a high level of experience, 4 times the experience of Aspinall. So I just look at Tom as a very arrogant young man who hasn't proven much. He's using his mouth to even be mentioned in such a serious conversation.
What's left for you to prove in your career?
What's left for me to prove? You know, honestly, not much. There's really not much to prove. And I've been in it for a long time. I've fought different generations of fighters. I'm at a stage now in my career where, you know, I meet young men who are adults who tell me they've been watching me since they were 10 years old. And so I've been around for a very long time. And I don't really feel like I have much to prove anymore. You know, now I'm just trying to prove things to myself, you know, like, you know, just longevity, you know. I want to be an athlete who's been around for so long. That means a lot to me to have been able to take care of my mind and my body and my spirit this long, to still compete at the highest level. I want my legacy to be that Jon Jones came, saw, and he conquered. You know, in his personal life, he came, saw, and conquered. In the octagon, he came, saw, and conquered. A person who has been here for a very long time, who pretty much grew up in the public eye, and you know, I just want to be a person who's looked at as very resilient, a person who just refused to lose, who's failed many times like us all, but just refused to lose. I want to be known as one of the best, if not the best, and a guy who loved God, a guy who loved Jesus. That's what I want my legacy to be. It's an honor. It's an honor. It's an honor to be regarded as one of the best, if not the best, and I'm flattered by it. I'm honored by it, and it's motivating to me to prove people right that do believe I'm the best. It's why I work so hard. It's why I take my opponents so seriously and do all the studying that I do. it's a true, it's a gift back from my viewers, I guess, and I'm grateful for it.